I welcome you all to this class. Today we want to solve this question under this topic, sum and product of rules of a quadratic equation. This question is actually the question 2 under this topic. In our last class we have solved question 1 under this topic, and we have done the introductory part of this video. So we have to use the knowledge we got in finding the sum and product of roots of a quadratic equation. In the introductory part, we got the formula you can use to find the sum of the roots of a quadratic equation and product of roots of a quadratic equation. So we are going to use that knowledge in solving problems under this topic. So let's start with the first question. So the question they ask us here is that if alpha and beta are the roots of this quadratic equation 2x squared minus 4x minus 1 equals to 0, we have to find this first question, 1 over alpha plus 1 over beta. So question I is 1 over alpha plus 1 over beta. So remember, in our last video I told you that you are going to write the expression in form of what? Sum and product of these two roots. So you are going to write the expression in terms of alpha plus beta and alpha times beta. So let's find the LCM of this fraction. Let's simplify this fraction. The LCM will be alpha times beta. That will be the LCM. Then if you come here, alpha divide alpha times beta, you get what? Beta. Times 1, you have beta. Plus, come to this one, beta divide alpha. The first one we did, you said alpha divide alpha times beta. We give you what? Beta. Beta times 1 will give you what? Beta. Come here, you come here, you do beta divide alpha times beta. You give you what? Alpha. Times 1, you get what? Alpha. So we have written this in terms of what? Sum of the roots and product of roots. So we have sum of the roots at the numerator, product of roots at the denominator. So I gave you a formula for finding sum of roots of a given quadratic equation. Sum of the roots is negative b divided by what? A. So if you come to this question, that's it. You will now be having negative into, let's find our b. Our b is the coefficient of what? X. The coefficient of x is always your b. What is the coefficient of x here? Negative 4 divided by, your a is the coefficient of x squared. The coefficient of x squared is here is what? 2. So negative will give you positive. Positive 4 divided by 2, you get what? 2. So the sum of roots alpha plus beta is 2 divided by, the next thing we are going to get is what? To get the product of what? Root. So let's know what will be the product of root of this quadratic equation. Product of root is given by c divided by a. So c divided by a will give you the product of root. C is the constant, while a is the coefficient of x squared. So what's the constant here? The constant here is what? Negative 1. So you now have negative 1 divided by, coefficient of x squared here is what? Coefficient of x squared is 2. So here you now have negative 1 divided by what? 2. So if you solve this fraction, so this will be 2 times instead of negative 1 divided by 2, you now reciprocate the fraction. You now have negative 2 times divided by what? 1. Then if you multiply, you are going to get what? Negative 4 divided by 1, which is what? Negative 4. So negative 4 is the value of this 1 over alpha plus 1 over beta. So with this, we have gotten the value of this. So let's solve the second question. Question II. Question II is saying alpha divided by beta plus beta divided by alpha. So you remember, what you are going to do is to write this in terms of sum of roots and product of roots. So in terms of alpha plus beta and alpha times beta. So what will be the LCM? The LCM is what? The LCM of this is alpha times beta is the LCM. Then come to this fraction. What's the denominator here? beta. You now do beta divide by this LCM. That is, you beta divided by, you are going to use this beta to divide this LCM. The LCM is what? Alpha beta. So alpha beta divided by beta will give you what? Alpha. Times this alpha up will give you what? Alpha squared. Plus, what's the denominator here? Alpha. Alpha divide your LCM. That is alpha beta divided by alpha. You get beta. Times, what's the numerator? Times what is up here? That's times beta. You have beta squared. So in our previous video, I gave you the equivalent of this alpha squared plus beta squared, because alpha squared plus beta squared is not actually in terms of a sum of the roots, because this is sum of squares of the roots instead of sum of the roots. So let's write in terms of sum of the roots, and we wrote that in our last video. This is equivalent to alpha plus beta all squared minus 2 alpha beta. That's the equivalent of this. Then you have alpha beta as denominator. So in this first one we solved, we found that our sum alpha plus beta, we solved it here, we got it 2, right? So you now have 2 raised to power 2 minus 2 times alpha beta. We got alpha beta to be negative 1 divided by 2, negative 1 divided by 2, then all over alpha beta, negative 1 divided by 2. 2 raised to power 2 is what? 4. Negative 2 times negative half will give you what? Positive 1. Then all divided by 1 over 2. Minus 1 over 2. So let's continue the solving down here. So if you add 4 plus 1 is what? 5 divided by negative 1 over 2. So if you do this, this is the same as 5 times, instead of negative 1 over 2, you will now be negative 2 over 1. So you reciprocate this fraction down here. So bring the numerator, so bring the denominator up, bring the numerator down. So that is this. Then I will now change this division towards multiplication. So this will give you negative 10. So negative 10 is the value of this. So thank you so much for being part of this video. I hope you enjoyed the class. See you in the next class. Bye.